from partying at Ma's house with Mesco Toys, of course. Of course, I want to just, start off with thank you so much, Mesco Toys, for constantly taking me out on date nights. Y'all took me out on more dates than any of the people I've ever dated for a long time. No, but seriously though, I really do appreciate all of these movie dates. I love films. I love art, I love entertainment, so I just want to first off say thank you. For those who are now watching, make sure you click that button down to subscribe to see what movies I get to see before they are released. It's very rare if I get to do a review on a show that's already out that I haven't got the chance to preview before, and it's not because of anything in particular, it's usually because I'm so busy watching this stuff before it comes out that by the time I catch up on things that have been out, by the time my review comes out, it's been like 8 years later. Like, I'm working on a review right now for Dirty Dancing, the first film. I'm kidding. But let's get started on Ma's house. I found it to be actually pretty well written. I'm not gonna say it's Shakespeare, like in that kind of comparison how some people would describe it. However, I did find it pretty well written for a horror film. There were a couple of like moments where you're like, okay, this is a bit Hollywoodish, but it was well written enough for me to actually genuinely enjoy the film. So what I mean by that is the fact that you're actually watching the journey of why these kids are being tortured or stalked by Ma. Every character was significant, and that's important to me because sometimes films will introduce a character for no reason, and then someone in the audience will remember, hey, what happened to that dude at the store? It seems so important, and they put a lot of energy into a particular character that actually is completely irrelevant to the storyline. So every character has a purpose, and that's the thing that I also personally enjoyed. I enjoyed how each character of these kids actually kind of had their own personal development because they are learning a very serious life lesson individually for them all. Only one of them seems to have common sense. But yeah, so the main plot behind Ma's is there's these group of kids who are basically being stalked and tortured by this particular woman, and there's a horrendous reason why she's targeting these kids. These kids initially meet her because they're just trying to get an adult to buy them booze because they want to party, and that's what starts the relationship off. What becomes interesting is that as they're doing this, they're sort of like throwing in life lessons in between here, things that, you know, you may tell or warn your kid about that maybe your kid's not really listening to. This movie is definitely a great way to show them, this is why when I tell you this, listen. One of the things that they do is that she buys the alcohol for them, and they go out and they're partying and they feel like they're so cool. And the first thing that she does is sort of follow up on her new friends. And they go from loving this woman to think she's so awesome, so cool, to realizing that she's not quite right upstairs. You know, mommy's not so, you know what I mean? You get that from the trailer. However, I do not think the trailer actually does it justice, because I feel like the trailer almost dumbs down the movie opposed to what's actually written. And I'm trying my best not to give away spoilers because there was a couple of things in there that I personally enjoyed myself as a surprise, which I thought was pretty awesome. So each of these characters, you have Haley, you have Andy, and you have all these kids here, right? Daryl, and they're just looking to have fun. And the fun turns very dark very quickly because they're not seeing quite eye to eye with Ma. So with Sue-Ann, who's Ma, she's trying to relive her fun childhood, you know, being able, you know, I guess going through a midlife crisis of like, I can still be young, y'all. Like, I guess she's doing her thing. In the midst of her dealing with having new friends, trying to be cool, and reliving her youth, she's also reliving the bad parts of her youth, which is triggering these memories. And the memories that are triggered in there are very, very, like, very dark. And you can see how they took one innocent girl from one incident down all the way to the very end. And you see how her life has genuinely haunted her this entire time. And if you saw her, if she was talking, you know, to people on the norm, you wouldn't know the difference. And what I loved about her Sue-Ann's performance is the fact that it made the lead antagonist or protagonist, and kind of in my head, it made her so relatable. Yeah, I know we had the kids, they were like being tortured, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not too concerned about them. What I really liked was the fact that you not only liked the villain, you may have been scared of her, right? but you liked her and you felt bad for her for the way how she's been treated, for how things end up happening, and you start to kind of see, oh, I see why she snapped. I get it. It kind of gives you that full effect, and I think that's what makes it fun, because you don't always find yourself rooting for the villain or understanding the villain, and it's very interesting to sit there and really fathom what the villain has actually gone through and what the villain's personal tribulations are, and finding it in your own relatable circumstances. Between her and the kids, I feel like the film shows off a couple of I guess actual life lessons, like don't follow strangers home, don't go into stranger houses, do not get into stranger cars, be careful about drugs and alcohol, someone will drug you if you are not careful, anything can happen to you. And I feel like they sort of like mix all those like small lessons into a very horrific way that I feel like if anybody was like, yeah, we should totally just follow that stranger, someone's gonna be like, ah, I saw Maz. I don't know about that. I did enjoy that the most. Let me just check my notes, give me 1 second. Okay, so there was a plot twist that I actually genuinely appreciated, and one of the rules that's stated in the trailer is the kids can party down in the basement, but they just cannot come upstairs. And what she has hidden upstairs is really kind of the plot twist, because when it happens, it's not a major like, ah! It's not one of those things, because it's one of those suspenseful moments, because you're like, oh crap, the kids are upstairs, they're being very stupid, this is very dangerous. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, what are you guys doing? That moment of reveal of what or why she's keeping everyone from upstairs, it almost breaks your heart, because then you start to like feel for the antagonist, but then you're also angry with her, and you're just sort of like, that is a whole level of like effery that it's mind-boggling. And when you find out really why or what she's keeping upstairs away from the kids that she does not want anyone to actually find out, it's heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. I feel like that's the best way to describe it, because I don't want to give that part away. I know sometimes I do spoilers and sometimes I don't, but I feel like for me personally, that was just something I just happened to like actually enjoy about the film, because it was a pleasant surprise, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone, because I actually did enjoy this film. So that was a decent plot twist. And I liked how Sue-Ann, or Ma, continues to spiral out of control because of her past history, dealing with these current kids, trying to be cool, trying to have friends. She's just this lonely person who's never had the opportunity to just have friends. So she obsesses over simple things that should be normal, but it's not. The way they show it, like even when you find out the reason what she has in upstairs, that's why she doesn't want the kids upstairs, you even still kind of like, yo, like this really messed her up. The film keeps the audience well engaged, and I think that's very important, because no matter what, even when they flash back and went forward and flash back and went forward, you could see like the memory happening in her head. You see her crying, which you don't actually expect. You can see the water tearing up in her eyes, and it's you can't help but to feel for the villain. You really can't. Right when you get down to the very end of the film and you find out why she screwed up, you're like, holy crap, that is messed up. That is really effed up. And you can see why it sort of altered her, because it's not like they're in a big city, it's not like anything like that. It's kind of like a small town. It's not the greatest town, it's not Dawson's Creek or anything like that, it's not Sunnydale either, but it's also not like this perfect town. She doesn't really have anywhere to go. She didn't run, and she's still dealing with her tribulations and this inner trauma that she dealt with, that she never really got off of her chest, and now she's letting it off her chest. It's like, holy crap. I don't know, maybe I killed these kids too. Like, I don't know, I'm kidding. There was a couple of other scenes that I did get a little scared with, because I did get worried about like some animals, because I was like really nervous about the animals. I loved how creepy Sue-Ann was. The facial expressions, the way she would change when she actually hugs, she goes in to give like one of the parents a hug, right? And she's like, hi, and she's looking at one of the kids. It was so great seeing you. Click. I know, it's so great. I'll catch up, girl. Bye. Like, she does it switch. And like it's incredible because when you watch someone who has their personalities change on so many different levels and you see it switch like that, it is mind-boggling. She kind of had like a James McAvoy kind of like split feeling to her, and I loved how she did it because she looked so innocent and yet she kept dazing out, and that was something that was very important. It wasn't like, ha ha ha, I'm sinister, ha ha ha. They didn't put that in the film. You understood why she snapped. You can see that she probably snapped a long time ago, and that trauma changed her entire life. Like, that's it. For people who do things like this or haze other people or torture other people's lives, you're kind of just like, that's why you should be nice to others or just leave people alone. Like, it's real simple. Like, I have this crazy theory that if you don't vibe well with someone, you should probably leave them alone. I know, it sounds cray, I know, but it's true. I felt the film. I really felt for the villain. I was like, nah, Sue-Ann, that's messed up. Like, that's really messed up. So I have to say that I pleasantly really enjoyed the film, and given the fact that it was a hybrid of a revenge film mixed with horror, mixed with a lot of sympathy for the villain, I have to say this is a very different film in regards in the horror genre than what I was anticipating. So I would definitely recommend people to go out to go see it. If you like horror films, go have fun and watch it. And the things that Ma does to them when she finally like just loses it, people are just dying like left and right, just left and right. You kind of just feel like they had it coming, he had it coming. Okay, maybe not that kid. Okay, I see. Like, you know. Like, it's almost like you want to feel bad for the kids, like, oh no, I hope they survive, and then Party's like, nah, okay, like, I'm good. It kind of reminds me of the comedian I was just watching. I forgot his name, but yeah, maybe you guys might know. If you know him, please write his name down in the comment section. The comedian was making a joke saying like he knows he's getting old because when he watches horror films, he roots against like, yeah, woo, kids die, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you should have been listening, you should have been drinking, you should have been following strangers, yeah, woo. You like, you know, when you're rooting against the kids. So that's what that film actually reminded me of. So I can actually say that I would give this film a 4.5 out of 5 Cadmas. I'm not giving it the full 5 because I felt like I was taken out of the film only for one stupid reason, and it's still like haunting me right now, is because of the audience. So I feel like there are two types of people in the audience. People who are gonna watch it as ghetto mind, who are gonna be like, yeah, woo, and that part's gonna appeal to them. And then there's gonna be people like me who are genuinely looking at it as a fun film just to like enjoy for, you know, for Halloween or something like that, or if you love horror, or if you want to teach your kids some valuable lessons, like watching people when they make your drinks. So I feel like I really did enjoy it, but the audience kept taking me out for certain things, and it's only because the audience, unfortunately, some of them were like a little too ghetto. It was like irritating me because I'm just like, please shut up. Like, like, I know I didn't pay for the ticket, but like, I'm also here to enjoy the film, and there's nothing more ridiculous than here, yeah, cuz, woo! Yeah, woo! Like, please shut up. Like, I'm just like, let's be real. Like, stop. Like, we're all here to watch the movie. You're not at home. Like, stop. Like, it's okay to like cheer for a minute, but like when you're doing it like throughout the entire film, and it's hard to like for me to become fully engaged because you're that disruptive and there's like multiple of you, it's a little annoying. That's the best way to put it. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend Maz. I think actually it's a fun film. If you are not into horror films, don't watch it. If you want to teach your kids a lesson about, you know, the potential dangers of drugs, going drinking with their friends, following strangers, someone even drugging them, date rape drugs, things like that, make them watch the film. If you enjoy horror, then I feel like this is a horror that you can enjoy depending on what type of horror that you like. So this is your revenge thrill seeker mixed in with a little bit, let's see, revenge, thrill seeker, and a little bit of like classic horror, because there wasn't like excessive gore. It wasn't like blood everywhere, you know, like the kung fu movies, you know, I'm like one of those. You got to have the chance to be scared and sort of on your edge, like, what are you guys doing? You're literally walking into danger. Did I just do that? It's because I don't have any boobs. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. I definitely say, like, if you enjoy horror films and you don't need something that's super gory and you want something that kind of like pique your mental interest, and you're just like, what happened, then I definitely would recommend this film. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's worth 20 bucks to have fun with, or if you just want a reason to jump into your boyfriend's lap or your girlfriend's lap in case she's stronger than you. This is definitely a film to enjoy and bask in, and I think it leaves you sitting there going, so glad I survived as a teenager. You know, hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm trying to get better at my reviews and also stay a little bit more focus oriented. But I definitely, like I said, would give it 4.5 out of 5 Cadmas. I just switched the audience. Wasn't so ghetto and so loud. In fact, I don't even think, I feel like if you talk that much throughout the film, you should just be banned from movie theaters. In fact, it should just be like a thing that they scan your arm and go, you? Ah, loquacious one. Out! But yes, make sure you guys leave some comments, likes. Tell me if you're gonna go see Moz. Tell me when you see it. Tell me what you actually think. What do you think of the plot twist? Or at least the double plot twist, because they snuck it in there kind of smoothly and you can't help but to like feel the anxiety. If you're gonna be watching the film and you've already seen the film after it's released, because it is coming out May 31st, I believe. Do you like the villain as much as I do and almost feel for her? I really want to know what people really think of this film. I think it's a lot of fun. I just hope that your audience is not as ghetto as mine. You know, but maybe they were there for you to party at Ma's house. Oh God, why can't people just be quiet at the movies? Thanks for watching.